Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Frenchman's Creek by Daphne du Maurier and Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. I'm going to have spoiler-free as well as spoiler sections for both of these books, so if you have read them, haven't read them, you're good to stick around, and there will be timestamps as well as affiliate links in the description so that you can jump around. We're going to start with Daphne du Maurier. We're going to start with Frenchman's Creek. I really loved this book. This may be my favorite du Maurier that I've read yet. I think I've said that every single time I've read another du Maurier. So maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about and I just love everything she does. But this may be my favorite du Maurier yet. This is about a woman named, not Mary, that was Jamaica Inn, named Donna. This is about a woman named Donna. She married her husband because he had kind eyes, but she doesn't have any kind of affection for him, and she's not pleased with her life, and so she essentially just tells her husband, look, I need some space. I'm taking the kids, I'm gonna go to a different one of our other houses that we never visit, and I'm gonna be alone for a little while. So she does the thing. And when she gets there, she finds that the man who is in charge of taking care of their manor, he has been a single staff. He hasn't been taking care of it well. It's full of dust, etc. He hires staff to take care of it, and she gets settled. But then pirates. There are these French pirates that dock in the creek nearby. Donna stumbles on them, and pirates. She becomes a pirate, essentially. I mean, not really, but she goes on adventures. I loved this book. I loved this book. I loved this book. Okay. Du Maurier is excellent at environment. Have you heard me say it before? Du Maurier, her ability to create an atmosphere to make me feel the salt waves lapping up on Donna's face, to help me to hear the pirates' accents and interact with, or watch them while they're interacting with each other, to feel the chemistry between the characters, and to just be on this adventure with her, to feel the fear that she's feeling, the excitement that she's feeling. Du Maurier does a great job of creating a woman, a protagonist, who is in a situation where you wonder, were you not in this situation, would you make the same decisions you made? And helping me to see why this character would make these decisions. And even though I wouldn't do all the things that Donna did, I understood why Donna would do them. So I was thrilled to just watch it all happen. Of the 4 du Maurier books that I've read, each time she has these very unsettling tones to her stories, and that's not what Frenchman's Creek was. Throw any du Maurier understanding you have out the window. This is different. This is an adventure, and it's a great one. There's always flaws. Du Maurier does not do everything right by me, in my opinion. So there are definitely glaring problems with this book. I guess that feels too harsh. Yeah. There are glaring problems with this book, and there are glaring things that I would have preferred her do differently, but I loved it. I loved it so much. Du Maurier, for me, no author can sweep me away and get me lost in a story like she can. She is one of a kind, and she's an author that I totally understand and respect that probably the majority of people that read her may think, that was nice, and not love her on the level that I love her. So I'm aware that she writes for me. She's the perfect author for me. She may not be the perfect author for everybody else, but no author is as right for me as she is, other than probably Bachman. But in different ways, for different reasons, because Du Maurier, no one can get me lost in a story like Du Maurier can. I feel so jarred leaving this story. I feel so unhappy not being in it anymore. I really had to force myself when I got to that last page not to just turn the book over and start again. I still might do it. I'll probably be rereading this soon because what an adventure. I had so much fun. I'm getting into spoilers now, so if you haven't read it yet, go to the description, jump around. I I enjoyed it so much. I think that the way Du Maurier wrote the chemistry between Donna and the Frenchman, which Jean something, I can't remember his name perfectly, because it's been like a week since I finished this book, but the Frenchman, the lead pirate, the way she wrote the chemistry between them was impeccable. When he was teaching her to fish, when he was teaching her to pirate, she wrote their relationship and their back and forth and just the tension between them so phenomenally. I enjoyed watching them together so much. When Donna goes out on a pirate adventure, when she goes to pillage, I don't know, to thieve, it was such a great scene. I was on the edge of my seat. I loved every moment of it, the tension of it, the excitement of it, the thrill. I felt Donna's desperate need for something else. I felt that she had just fallen into this life that she wasn't happy with, and now this adventure swept her away, and her need for it, like her longing for a new life, her longing for something different, and how she ran for it when she found it, when she found something exciting and thrilling and that felt good to her, how she just dove headfirst into it. Even though Donna made so many decisions that I wouldn't make, I understood her and why she would make these decisions so well. And I loved it, man. I just really, really loved it. There are definitely flaws. Du Maurier has this habit of throwing the love word around way before it's deserved. So we meet the Frenchman, I think one time. I think we have one conversation with him and Donna's in love. And man, I understand your infatuation. I understand that you were swept away by this new world and this new idea and the danger of it. I mean, Donna's already quite the scandalous lady in this book. So, I mean, scandalous for her time. And so when she sees this new adventure, this swashbuckling rogue adventure that's dangerous and terrible, it makes sense to me that she would be drawn to it. It makes sense to me that she would be drawn to the next scandalous, adventurous, exciting thing, but something that feels more right to her as opposed to something that she's doing for escape. I mean, I guess this is escape too. It just works for her character. But I understand your infatuation with pirating. I understand your infatuation with the crew and with the Frenchman, but not your love. You're not in love yet, Donna. I don't believe you. And the thing is that Du Maurier wrote the chemistry between the two so well. When they were fishing, when they eat together, when they're on their adventure. I mean, there's so many moments that I felt like they fit so well together, but we were in love before we had those moments. You gotta give me the moments first, Du Maurier. And she does this in a lot of her books. She throws that word around way too soon. And it's frustrating because she writes chemistry so well. So just move the word to later on in the book. Like at the point when the Frenchman, it's irritating me that I can't remember his name. At the point when he comes back to take her earrings because he won the bet, and he holds Henry and Harry. Wow, it's been a week and I've already lost these names. Harry and Harry's best friend, the guy we hate, the one that when she was tipsy one time, he kissed her and he's like, he's a sleazeball. Harry's best friend. When the Frenchman holds them at knife point to get Donna and to take her earrings to make good on the bet that she lost. That whole scene, and then he takes her away to the room while he makes them give him their britches. Oh my goodness, that was an amazing scene. When he takes her away and he tells her that he loves her in that moment, that should have been the I love you moment. We shouldn't have gotten the I love you moment from Donna at the very beginning of the book. We've had the build-up now, and that moment was excellent for him. It should have been excellent for her too. There's also things that just get skipped over for a book where Donna and her relationship with her children, for a book where that chemistry, that relationship is so significant to the plot. we maybe could have met the kids. I mean, we don't even meet them. The only time we interact with them is in the opening scene when the kids are whining about the carriage ride. That's it. Other than that, we only get vague mentionings of them. Donna played with them that afternoon. Donna thought about them over here. But like, it's only sprinkled in tiny portions throughout the book, and it's only vague mentionings. We're never actually with them in the entire book, except for that opening scene. And so, if you don't remember, this book ends with Donna deciding, well, it's a little bit vague and it's a little open-ended, like all of her endings are, but it essentially implies that that the Frenchman decides, or tells her his real name, and he tells her where his home is, that he goes back and visits sometimes. And she decides to not go be a pirate with him, but instead to stay with her husband until her kids are grown, and then it's implied that then after they're grown, she goes off to be with the Frenchman and lives the rest of her days with him. Swell. No thank you. I wanted her to be a pirate. I wanted her to be happy. I wanted her to have her adventure. It was so excitingly written, and I wanted that for her. Now, I was afraid that she was going to abandon her children, leave them, and go be a pirate without them. That would have been a horrible ending. But I didn't like this one either. So the reason she made the decision to not go be a pirate and to wait to put off that dream is because of her children. So the ending, the entire final decision depended on her relationship with these children that we never once saw. So if you're gonna make that decision, we need to know them. And so anyway, Du Maurier, she'll kind of skip over things that are really significant for the reader and just expect the reader to just kind of accept what she's saying. So like she expects us to just accept that she loves her kids, even though she never interacts with them that we see. I mean, we hear about every now and then she'll go spend an afternoon with them, but she never interacts with them that we see. She leaves them for days on end and goes to be a pirate, and just like someone else will take care of them. One of the help will take care of them, which I understand nannying was much more prevalent and much more involved at that time. Doesn't matter. She went days without seeing them or thinking about them or caring about them. She considered leaving them behind. She thought, hey, they're young enough that I could go be a pirate and they wouldn't really remember me. They'd grow up fine. She does not live her life with any consideration toward them whatsoever through this entire book. And then she decides to give up her love and give up her dreams for her children, which good for you. Good job being a mom. But I don't believe it because I never saw it. I never saw her affection or care for these children. So Du Maurier will just kind of tell you things like she loves her kids, and we're expected to accept it despite never seeing anything indicating that. So I do think that Du Maurier definitely fails me sometimes in where she puts the love, or the love word, where she tells me people are in love and skipping over really significant things that I need to believe certain decisions. But whatever, I loved this book. And then the ending, it's funny because I won't say what, because I don't want to spoil something, but I reviewed another Du Maurier book where I wanted a bittersweet ending instead of the ending I got. And then this time, I'm reading the book and I'm just thinking, don't give me bittersweet this time. Give me an adventure. Have her scoop up her kids and raise them as pirates. Raise them as pillaging thieves and murderers and swindlers. I don't care. Go be a pirate. Or, more realistically, I wanted her to go to the manor that the Frenchman told her about and live there and live her life as his wife. I wanted her to... I wanted the Frenchman to dock there at his actual home. And sometimes he'd spend weeks and months being a pirate, and Donna would be home with the help and the kids. And then sometimes he'd come and he'd dock and he'd spend weeks and months with her and the kids. And I wanted them to figure out their life together. And then when the kids got older, then she'd go be a full-time pirate. That's the ending I wanted. I wanted just an unrealistic happy ending. And instead I got bittersweet. And it's not what I wanted. So I'm lying to myself and I'm pretending that my ending is the real ending. Anyway, final thoughts. I loved this book. Du Maurier, she doesn't do everything perfect by me, but no author does. No book is perfect for every person or any person. I've never read a book that's perfect, that there's nothing that I would say, you could have tweaked this. Ove maybe is really close. A Man Called Ove by Bachman. But it doesn't matter. There's no book that's perfect for me. I can't expect any author to provide that to me. Du Maurier doesn't do some things right, but man, does she do everything else amazingly. And the things that she does well, she does so extraordinarily, stupendously, perfectly well for me that I'm willing to forgive just about anything. Okay, that was a little bit long. Let's get into Treasure Island. Treasure Island. I probably don't need to give you a synopsis, and I'd really prefer not to, because it seems like we get spoiler-y really early on, but we follow this kid named Jim who finds himself on a pirate adventure. I'm a pirate now. I only want to read about pirates. Spoiler-free, this is a children's adventure. Something that I read was that this book was created when the author and his son drew a pirate map, and from there, the author and his son, what's his name? Robert Louis Stevenson and his son, they decided to just create in their minds an adventure and came up with exciting things that they could do, and then Stevenson wrote the book, which is my new favorite origin story for any book ever. So this is a children's adventure before children's literature really had its own genre, its own section. And it is a really fun adventure. I definitely wish I had read it at a younger age, because there are certain things that were kind of spoiled for me just because of, pop culture. And then there are other things that I know the tension would have been stronger were I a kid, but I still was able to kind of just let go of myself and get lost in the adventure, and I had a really great time. Spoilers. If you haven't read it yet, if you want to read it, if you don't want spoilers, check the description, skip to my final thoughts. So there are certain things that I didn't get the full adventure for, like the big reveal of Long John Silver. He's not actually the ship's cook, but he's a pirate. Or I didn't get that surprise, because the moment I met Long John Silver, I was like, oh, I know who you are. Let's go. So, I missed out on some of it, but a lot of the story has not been spoiled for me. So there were so many exciting things that happened. And I feel like I got the full tension, or I got most of the tension of it. When Jim was cutting the anchor and setting sail to that ship that had the two arguing pirates on it, letting it get pulled out by the waves, and then when Jim fell asleep on the boat and woke up and had to kill one of the remaining pirates. When Silver rescued Jim, or saved Jim, and we didn't know whose side he was on, and then it was like this triumphant, oh, he's actually a good guy. That was so exciting when they get to the treasure and the treasure is not there. There were so many twists and turns in the story that I didn't know, and so I felt like I was able to be shocked and surprised and excited and confused along with the characters, which was awesome. There were so many funny moments in this book as well. One that really stands, there were a lot of funny lines, but one moment that really stands out to me is when one of the characters tore pages out of a Bible, and Silver was absolutely horrified by it. He thought the person was cursed. He thought that the person was just the worst person in the world for doing that. And then when that person fell ill, and Silver was like, well, yeah, you tore pages out of the Bible. Of course you're cursed. Of course you're dying. And the doctor, who is easily one of my favorite characters, even though he did the bloodletting at the beginning, which is terrifying. I know that it was a common practice in medicine at the time, but scary to me. You're acting crazy because you're drunk. I'm just going to take your blood so that you'll be a zombie for a while. Nope, don't like that. Anyway, sorry. The doctor, when Silver's just rampaging because he's convinced that there's a curse on this person, and the doctor's like, no, you dummy, it's malaria. your stupidity is gonna kill everybody is essentially what he says. I just had so much fun reading this. I had an absolute blast with this story. I had fun asking myself questions like, you know, in the moment you think, oh, Silver's actually a good guy, he saved Jim, but really, would Silver have saved Jim if it wouldn't have benefited him? I mean, if the tables were turned and that it would have benefited him to let Jim die, would he have? I think he would have. I think that Silver is not a good guy. I think that he's Captain Jack Sparrow. I think that the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise totally took Treasure Island and ran with it. And I think that he's one of those characters that whatever benefits him, whatever side benefits him to be on, that's the side he's going to be on today or this moment. And I loved that. I loved that about him. I loved in the end when they made off with the treasure and were declaring we're never going to do this again. We're never going to follow a treasure map again. And Long John Silver, he steals part of the reward, part of the gold, and escapes. And so you have this ending that's a nice close of you got your adventure, but we're not going to do this again. That was dangerous and that was wild. So we've had our adventure. Let's go back to life. But hey, we have treasure too. But then you also have this open ending of, but Silver's still out there and he's still doing his thing. Like, I loved that. I loved the two different directions that the ending went in. I think that gives the perfect amount of closure of, you know, of what the crew did, of what Jim and his crew did, as well as, but Silver's still out there. I think it's such a exciting and mystifying ending. Final thoughts. Again, like I said at the beginning, this is a story that I think I really had to let go of myself a little bit to fully enjoy it because it is a kid's adventure. It's a very straightforward, fun tale. I mean, lots of twists and turns, but just it's an adventure. That's what the book is. So in order to really get swept away with it, I had to kind of make myself get swept away with it because fun, fast-paced adventures, it's not the type of book that I typically pick up. But I kind of tried to just tap into a younger me and let myself get lost in it. And I had a really fun time. This is the same author that wrote The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I definitely prefer that book over this one. That's more my style of classic, but I still had a great time. This is a book that I will be giving to my kids when they are on the younger side, like 9, 10 years old, so that they can get the full effect of the tension and the excitement. And I don't know, I'm glad I read it. It was a really good time. There were a lot of things that I noticed that have taken inspiration from this. The Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, even Peter Pan, I definitely saw a lot of inspiration taken there as well. And that was really fun. I liked it. I had a good time. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Frenchman's Creek and Treasure Island. I had a great time reading both of these pirate adventures. I'm now a pirate myself, and that's all I want to read. I would love to continue chatting with you about either or both of these books in the comments. If you're going to talk spoilers, just do the spoiler space thing so that we don't accidentally spoil other people. I post videos every Tuesday through Friday. I'll see you guys again soon.